This is Enoch Chapters 12 through 23. And this comes from the complete Apocrypha, published by Covenant Press of the Covenant Christian Coalition. Before these things, Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden and where he dwelt, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages. And the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, you scribe of righteousness, go, declare to the watchers of heaven who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women, and have done as the children of earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. You have wrought great destruction on the earth, and you will have no peace, nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones will they see, and over the destruction of their children will they lament, and will make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace will you not attain. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, you will have no peace. A severe sentence has gone out against you to put you in bonds, and you will not have toleration, nor request granted to you, because of the unrighteousness which you have taught, and because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin which you have shown to men. Then I went and spoke to all them together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. For from that point forward they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins for which they had been condemned. Then I wrote out their petition and the prayer in regard to their spirits and their deeds individually, and in regard to their requests that they should have forgiveness and length. And I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. I read their petition until I fell asleep, and behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice come bidding me to tell the sons of heaven and reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping, in Absjail, which is between Lebanon and Cesner, with their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in my sleep, and I began to speak the words of righteousness, and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. The book of the words of righteousness and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with the tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to converse therewith and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding, the word of wisdom, so has he created me also, and given me the power to reprimand the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared like this, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has finally passed upon you. Yea, your petition will not be granted unto you. And from now on you will not ascend into heaven unto all eternity, and in bonds of the earth the decree has gone out to bind you for all the days of the world. and that previously you will have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you will have no pleasure in them, but they will fall before you by the sword. And your petition on their behalf will not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writing which I have written. And the vision was shown to me like this. Behold, in the vision, clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightning sped toward me. And the winds in the vision caused me to fly, and lifted me upward, and bore me into heaven. And I went out until I drew nigh to a wall which is built of crystals, and surrounded by tongues of fire, and crystals, and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire, and drew near to a large house, which was built of crystals. And the walls of the house were like tessellated floor, made of crystals, and its groundwork was of crystal. Its ceiling was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and the portals blazed with fire. And I entered into that house, and it was as hot as fire and as cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got a hold upon me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face. And I beheld a vision, and behold, there was a second house, greater than the former, and the entire portal stood open before me. And it was built of flames of fire, and in every respect it was excelled in splendor and magnificence, an extent that I cannot describe to you, its splendor and its extent. And its floor was of fire, and above it were lightnings, and the path of the stars, and its ceiling also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw, and therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun. And there was a vision of cherubim. And from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter and could behold his face, by reason of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was around him, and a great fire stood before him, and none could draw nigh to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor. And the most holy ones who were nigh to him did not leave by night, nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrate on my face trembling. And the Lord called me, and with his own mouth he said to me, Come here, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me, and he made me rise up and approach the door, and I bowed my face downwards. And he answered me and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, you righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach here and hear my voice. And go say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent you to intercede for them, you should not intercede for men, and not men for you. Why have you left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourself with the daughters of men, and taken yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons? And though you were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourself with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men have lusted after flesh and blood, and those also do die with and perish. Therefore I have given the wives also, that they might impregnate them and beget children by them, that nothing might be wanting to them on the earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you. And as for the spiritual ones of heaven, in heaven is their dwelling. And now the giants who were produced from the spirits and flesh will be called evil spirits upon the earth, and the earth will be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they were born from men and from holy watchers, is their beginning and primal origin. They will be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits will they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven will be their dwelling, and as for the spirits of earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth will be their dwelling. And the spirit of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits will rise up against the children of men and against women, because they have proceeded from them. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits have gone out, will destroy without incurring judgment. Therefore will they destroy until the day of consummation, the great judgment in which the age will be consummated over the watchers and the godless, yea, will be wholly consummated. And now as the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, who have previously in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries have not yet been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones. And these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women. And through the mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were like the flaming fire, and when they wished, they appeared as men. And they brought me to the place of darkness, and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached the heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries, and the treasures of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths, where were a fiery bow and arrows and their quiver, and a fiery sword and all the lightnings. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to the fire, to the river of fire, in which the fire flows like water, and discharges itself into the great sea toward the west. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great river, and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place from where all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he furnished them with the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven, which turn and bring the circumference of the sun, and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. And I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 toward the east and 3 toward the south. And as for those towards the east, one of colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those toward the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire. And beyond these mountains is a region at the end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed. And I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. And among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, and it was a waste and a horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven, and the stars which roll over the fire, as they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come out at their appointed times. And he was angry with them and bound them until the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years." And Uriel said to me, "Here will stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and will lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here will they stand until the day of great judgment, in which they will be judged until they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray will become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the end of all things, and no man will see as I have seen." And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels, who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Seraquel, one of the holy angels, who is set over the spirits, who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels, who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, one of the holy angels, whom God set over those who rise. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Then I said, "For what sin are they bound, and what account have they been cast in here?" Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why do you ask? And why are you eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here until 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And from there I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a horrible thing, a great fire there which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is this place, and how terrible to look upon! Then Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why have you such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here will they be imprisoned forever. And then I went to another place, the mountain of hard rock, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these holy places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein. Yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them until the day of their judgment, and until their appointed period, till the period appointed, until the great judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirit of a dead man making suit, and his voice went out to heaven and made suit. And I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, this spirit which makes suit, whose is it? Whose voice goes out and makes suit to heaven? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went out from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes his suit against him, until his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from the seed, among the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these 3 have been made, that the spirits of the dead might be separated. And such a division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is a bright spring of water. And such has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits will be set apart in this great pain until the great day of judgment and punishment and torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he will bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression. And of the transgressors they will be companions, but their spirits will not be slain in the day of judgment, nor will they be raised from there. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever. From there I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth. And I saw a burning fire which ran without resting, and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, What is this which rests not? Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said unto me, This course of fire which you have seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven.